Hello, good morning. So today we will take some revision. Okay, whatever we have completed till now. So first of all, we started on the system databases. These are the pro system databases we discussed. Those we can see easily over here on a server, the databases section. If you open this, expand this databases folder, you can see these are the four system databases and the significance we have listed here. Okay, so this is one theory question, and then we started on practicals over here. And first command we learn over here was creating databases. How to create database using the command and as well as using a graphical user interface. So this is a SQL Server Management Studio, the software that we use, okay, to write a queries, to edit the queries and write SQL code, and also to connect different servers. So this is a window that called as a Object Explorer that is basically used to connect different SQL Server databases and to execute the particular commands. Okay, so this is a command that used to create database. Apart from this command, you can always create a database by using right click over here. Just go to this folder, databases folder, and right click on the folder, create new database, select over here, okay, write a database name here and click OK. So your database will be created. Okay, I will not create it again because I already created the database. The second syntax we learn over here was how to change database. So basically by default, when we connect to any server, you will see the master database here, but we should not use your master database because master database is a system database. We should our create one database and we should use that for our day-to-day query practices. So if you want to change the database to new database, whatever we have created, just like here, I have created SQL batch 20 August 2023, and you can see this database here in my database list. So if I want to change the current database so that I can use the new database over here for the writing a queries, creating a tables over there, what I have to do, I have to use this command. Use database name and go. Okay. If I execute this, you will see the new database will be connected, which I already created here. You can see database changed here also and over here as well. So both places is important. This is a yellow ribbon here, and this is a database drop down. Even if you want to change without any this command, it is also possible. You just have to open the drop down. You can select any database you want to here. Okay. Then another thing we discussed, we learned that is a create a schema. So what's the basically use of schema? Schema is nothing but a logical grouping of objects. Object can be any table, view, function, any SQL object we created. Okay, that can be grouped under the schema. So schema is nothing but a logical grouping of objects. So why we need basically? Suppose you want to create 100 tables, okay, and some 50 views or one more 100 like functions and store posture over there. And you want to use the database for multi-purpose. Okay, so you will not be able to understand after some time, after maybe 1 year or 2 year, that what function we created for what and what a table we created for what purpose. So on the basis of the purpose, what we can do, we can create a group of objects. Suppose I'm using this database for creating some my project related to school. Also, same database I'm using for another project related to my finance, and another project is related to HR department. Okay. So what I can do, whenever I create new table, new function, new store procedure, new view, then what I will do, I will create under the particular schema name at least. Okay. So I will just show you. If I created all these schemas over here for my information, and then whenever I creating table, then I'll create it like this. Create table name payroll dot employee or finance dot employee. Okay, and HR dot employee like this, like any object. Like this is a simple example of table, but if I create any object like view, table, function for store procedure, anything, then what I can do, I can create under that particular schema. So that in briefly when I try to check like which table I want to refer for finance related store reports, then what I try to do, I just have to search for the table under the finance scheme. If I'm creating one report under the HR department, then I should use the report under the HR schema. Okay, and those things we can easily identify here. If I expand this particular database, you will see under tables, there are so many tables I created. You can see most of the tables you will see under the DBO schema. Okay, and DBO schema I have not created. This is a system given me by default schema that I can use. So whenever I create any table over like this, I have not specified schema name here. I directly mention the create table name without schema name. So by default it goes to the DBO schema. So DBO schema is a by default schema that's already provided by the system, that we don't have to create it again. Okay, if you want to do anything else, then what you can do, you can create your own schema like finance, HR, payroll, like this, and you can create different views, different functions, different tables again under the particular schemas. Okay, any question? Suppose I want to create department table. If I want to create different another table, I will see one more table if I can do here. There should be one department table also. Suppose this student table I want to create under the school. What I will do, I will just have to, this is a first employee table I created under the payroll department. Okay, then I also created a school. So what I will do, I want to create a student table under the school schema. What I will do, I have to just create like this. Okay, under the instead of DBO, what I will do, I will create a school here. So what will happen now? I will this table will be created under the school schema. So easily we can understand whenever you are creating a report or something, then you can understand this is a student table related to my school project. Okay. So that is something a logical. Why I'm saying again logical word, because this is nothing a segregation on the disk. So ultimately data is going to write or going to save on the local disk only. Like every computer have a hard disk, then server also have a hard disk. So whatever you are creating a unique table, it will be created under the database, and database will be deployed under the on your disk only. So where you can find this database on disk. If you want to see where this database is saved on my disk, then easily you can go here. You can right click on your database, go to properties, and you will see where it is saved. Okay, I'll go to files and you will see the under files here. If I expand this, you will see the path here, C:/program files. Okay, Microsoft SQL Server, yes, MS SQL, 16 MS SQL Server, MS SQL data, and under this folder, this path, the database file will be created. Two types of file you can see here. One is a SQL batch August 2023.mdf file, and SQL Server to August 2023 and underscore log .eldf. Okay, means one is a log file, one is a master data file. MDF means master data file, ELDF means log data file. Okay, so these two file always gets created automatically when you create a database. Okay, so whenever someone asks you like where this file or where whatever data you are creating or inserting in table, where it gets saved, it will be get saved on your hard disk. Okay, and the file name will be database name dot ldf, database name dot mdf. MDF file is mostly master data file where actual data will be saved. LDF will be log data file, and there where only logs will be saved. Logs means whenever you understand uncertain data, uh, or delete any data, update any data, then what happens? Actually, one log will be created over there, and that logs will be maintained on the log data file. Log is nothing but the auditing history, that whatever you operation you are doing, that will be mentioned here. Okay. I hope you understood what is the meaning of a logical representation, logical grouping of objects. Like if you want to create one more table here, like instead of student, what you can do, you can create one more table here as a teachers. Okay. Okay. So instead of like teacher over here, student, what I will do, like teacher ID, teacher name, okay, teacher date of birth, teacher department ID, and maybe teacher subject we can add over here. Okay. Okay. Like this, we can create one more table under the school schema. Okay. Even if I want to create something, okay, on view or something like on student, I will create one more view also. Create view. Okay. few students or VW student like this. As select student ID. Okay. From school dot students. Okay, like this. The same way, you can create a different views also. Now this view will be again created under the school schema only. That's how what I'm doing here. I'm just creating different objects. Those are related to school under the school schema. Okay, I will create different objects. Those are related to finance under the finance schema. I will create different objects. Object may be any view, any table, any index, any store procedure. That will I will create under the finance related to object will be under finance schema. HR related object will be under the HR schema. And you will see these things over here as well. If I refresh it, you will see logical grouping of objects. Why I'm saying logical? Because the physical means something that is stored on disk. Logical means only the nomenclature and your identification. So whatever names you are seeing here, those are only for your identification and your logical purpose. Any question till this point? Today we are just taking a revision, whatever we have covered till now, so that you can refresh your knowledge and you can ask me questions, whatever your subjects or whatever concept you are not clear still, and I will explain those things. Okay, then we learn about basic data types. Actually, data type is another chapter that we are going to start from today or tomorrow. But these are some basic data types that we learn here. Why? Because whenever you are creating some table, you need this data type over here. Okay, this is syntax of creating table. Syntax of create table is a create table name, then schema name dot actually create table schema name dot table name, the bracket open, and you can check here like this column name data type, column name data type, and at the end round bracket complete. Okay, this is the syntax of creating table. Okay, so by following this syntax, I created some tables here like create table employee. Employee will have employee ID, employee name, all information related to employee will be added under this employee. So these are the columns. Basically, employee is a table name, and employee ID, employee name, date of birth, department ID are all these column names. So I am writing here I put that like integer, varchar, date, int. So what are these things? These are the attributes related to the columns. You can see the column ID, MP ID will be, I know this values under this column will be integer values. So what I written here is a data type integer. Okay. You can see here the column employee name. I know this is a varchar column. All the values under this column will be string values. So I written here varchar 50. T is a length that you can specify any length over here 100, 200, 500, maximum 4000. Okay. Date of birth again date value will be there. So I written here date. So these are the basic data types. I written here integers should be used for integer values like 1, 1, 2, 3, 987 or 0 or anything like this. Okay, like this. So what is the maximum value, minimum value? All these things are going to we are going to discuss in the next chapter. Again, this is another data type varchar that mostly we use for the string value. String value like employee name or any person's name, village name or description. Okay, all the string values will be stored in a varchar type. If you want to store your name, you should use your varchar data type for that. If you want to store, okay, some description or some a subject or some any name of the village, name of the person, name of the country, any value if you want to store like that, you have to use a varchar values. Another is a date value, date data type. Date data type mostly used for columns. Those will be having a values like your date of birth, date of joining. All these date values will be stored in a date data type. Another is decimal, like name suggests already, it's a decimal data type. So whenever you are storing in decimal values, like your price of ticket or any decimal values that you can use the decimal data type here. Then time is next one is time, like bus time, train time, or railway time, or air. uh, airport time, whatever things you want to store here, that will be stored in the time date type. But time data type will not have any date over there. If you want to date and time both things, you can use the date time date type. So the example will be like this. Example will be like this. Over here, date time will have date part as well as a time part. Both part will be there. Okay. Mostly date part will be like this. YYY, EMM and DD. Okay. YYY, EMM, DD, the HHMM, SS. So the date time will have date part as well as a time part. That. Okay. After this, what we studied? We studied about how to insert data in table. When we create table, we should add some data over there. So this is the query to write we insert data into table. Syntax over here, insert into schema name dot table name, then column list separated by comma, values, the round bracket open, and value list separated by comma. These are the few examples. After this, that we created another syntax to create a insert data. Okay. Syntax number 2, without specifying the column names, means here you can see round bracket we are specifying the column list, but here column list is not specified. Still, it is valid syntax. Okay. We don't have to mention it every time. If you are mentioning or adding value for all columns, then you don't have to mention that. Okay, these are the few examples out of that. This is another schema, another syntax here, schema syntax number 3, inserting data with a select clause. Where you can see here value clause is not used like this over here, but we have used this insert into and then use this select clause. That's also possible. After that, we studied about delete queries, delete from table name, delete from schema name dot table name, then where condition we have to specify, or delete schema name dot table name where condition is also possible. So both syntax are valid. We have given few examples out of that. Then next syntax we studied over there was a copy data from one table to another table by using into clause. So select, this is a into clause is mostly used to copy data from existing table to new table that is not exist still exist. So that table will be automatically created and data will be copied. This syntax we discussed at the time. Okay. If you want to just create a copy of table and you don't have to copy data, then what we can do, we can use condition like this, 1 equal to 2. This condition will never be satisfied and no data will be copied there. Only a new table will be created like this, which is as a same copy of a existing data, existing table. Okay. But data will not be copied. Only structure will be created. Okay. This is again a delete query. This is a drop query. Drop table query is mostly used to remove table from database completely. So with a data and structure. So you cannot use after that the table. You have to create again if you want to insert data. Drop and delete is different. What over here is a delete only removes data and keep structure as it is. Drop table query will remove data as well as table structure. Any question till now? Then another command we studied here is a truncate table command. So again, the question, so intro question we can get here is the difference between a truncate and delete. Okay, truncate is also removes data. Truncate is also used to remove data from table, and delete also used to remove data from table. So both are the same doing same function. So what is the difference between them is a truncate table command will remove complete data set. Okay, all records from table, and delete will just do record by record deletion as per the condition given in the from clause, where clause. Where clause cannot be specified for truncate table, but can be specified for delete table command. Okay, you can see if I write truncate table name where department ID something like this, it will give always you error. Okay, but if I specify delete from table name where condition is like this, it will be not error, it will be success. Okay. Intro question here, difference between a drop and truncate. Truncate is just removing data. Drop command will remove data as well as table. Drop table command is a DDL command. Truncate table command is a also DDL command. Okay, but delete command is a DML command. So this is something that we are going to discuss in another chapter. Next point. Okay, next thing what we learn that is adding a column in the existing table. How to add column? Use syntax like this: alter table, create table. Table name is creating for table. For adding column, what you have to do? Alter table, table name, add column name, where a data type over there. Okay, the syntax: alter table, schema name dot table name, add column and column name. Okay, data type here. Okay, syntax over here is alter table, table name, schema name dot table name, add new column name, data type. For removing column, the syntax here: alter table, schema name dot table name, drop column, column name. Here data type not required, but here data type is required. This is example of removing column. Okay, another thing over here is a update data record in a table. As of now, we learn how to create table, how to insert data, how to delete data. Now, this is something about updating a data records. Means if you don't want to completely insert new data record, but if you want to change some values of existing data record, that you can use by using update command. So syntax of update command will be like this: update schema name dot table name, set a column name with new value where condition means existing condition were satisfied, that record will be updated like this. Or using alias name, as we can do update alias name from schema name dot table name as alias name. Alias name is nothing but the nickname. Okay, we give to some table. So now the table name, if I give alias name like this, then alias dot column name will be referred as a column name from a table name. Then you can specify new value here and we can write a where condition. Why we use where condition writing important? Because if you don't specify the where condition, what will happen then? If you don't specify where condition, then all the record from the table will be updated. Okay, unnecessarily. So you should not never do this. You should always specify the where condition so that only required record will be updated. Any question till this point? Okay. Next thing what we studied is how to modify, okay, update records here there. Then odd columns in table, default data. Okay, default data if you want to add there, that also we studied. Then we also studied case statement to update records. Okay, these are the few clauses of queries, SQL queries. Select clause, from clause, where clause, order by clause, top clause, distinct clause, and or not clause, group by, having, into operator. All these clauses we studied one by one with their usage. Okay. Select clause is mostly used to write a column names. After that, whatever column you want to display. From is something used to fetch data from table name or view name. Okay. After from, always it should be a from table name will be there. After from, or there should be view name, or there should be some subquery. Okay. Where clause is always used to filter data on a record by record. So whatever condition you want to filter out, you can write after where clause. Order by clause is mostly used to sort data on basis of some columns. So if you want to sort employee data according to employee ID, then you can write a order by employee ID. Okay. But that will not impact whatever data stored in a table, but it will be only for display purpose. Okay. Also display होताना ते order होणार आहे. Table च्या आतमध्ये काय order by होणार नाही ते. Table data as राहणार आहे. फक्त display होताना ते order होऊन display होईल. Top clause also used to display only certain number of records if you don't want to display all record. Distinct something that removes duplicate. If you want to show only distinct values, that means you want to remove duplicate and only show the distinct or separate values. You want to remove duplication while display. Again, distinct clause does not impact on whatever data stored in table. It just impact on a display purpose. When you display some data, it will not impact any, or it will not change any data that is stored in table. And or not, these are also clauses, logical clauses that we use mostly in where clause or having clause. Another is group by clause. That is again used with the aggregate functions for grouping purpose. Having clause is also A filter that is a on a grouping and always be attached to the group by clause. Means having clause cannot be written separately without a group by. So it should be always come with a group by. Having also can be given a condition here after having clause that will filter data to display. Into clause mostly used to copy data. Okay, all these examples already given here. Also with the intro questions. Again, we also studied here like operator. Okay, that was not mentioned here. Okay, there should be like operator here and or not and like. Okay, like operator should be here. So like operator mostly used to match patterns. Okay, suppose something like this over here. Write a query to display employees with a starting name starting with A. How can I write a query for this? Select star from employee where employee name like A percent. A percent means starting with A. Anything after that is a okay. Any question on this? All the records, all the sessions are recorded, and you can go through that anytime. If you face any question, any problem, you can always reach out to me on WhatsApp or a call. Okay, please do the revision because these are whatever we are doing the revision as a building block, basic building blocks of our SQL code. If you miss these things, then you will not be able to write any complex code. This okay. So I'm just focusing on this again and again so that your base should be strong. These are all the operators. Like this is percent means anything beginning at the end is okay. Just where somewhere the name there should be double E character. Okay. So you will see these values. So Sunil, Tesin, Sumit, Monali, Isa, Emily, all these are names are having a double E somewhere there. Okay. So I'm writing here percent double E. Any question out up to this point? This is distinct clause. Okay. Alias, use of alias here. Group by having clause also mentioned. Okay. After that, we studied about all the different clauses. Again, whatever remaining things we studied about, like how to use different clauses in a update clause, statement, select statement. These are the subqueries actually we written here. Subqueries. Query within a query is a subquery. Subquery can be written inside the from clause. Subquery written inside can be written inside the where clause. Okay. Subquery can be written in the select clause also. Okay. After that, we studied about different types of statements. Okay. Means any SQL statement in a SQL Server or T-SQL code can be categorized into four categories. First is the DDL command. That is something related to data definition language. Means that is related to structure of table. Okay. Create, drop, alter, truncate. All these commands are related to structure of table. So we call it as a DDL commands. DML commands are something about to data. Means anything data related things. What we do like insert, update, delete are related to data manipulation language. So we call them DML commands. Select query is something about a okay. DQL command, data query language. Data query language is a something about fetching a data from a table. So we mostly use a select command for that. DCL is something that data control language, grant and revoke. These are the two different commands. Those are mostly used to give the access and remove access. All the example we studied here. Okay, these are the all things we studied as of now. Till this point, if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, we can start new chapter here as a data type of SQL Server, wherein we are going to study all data type in details. Okay. For data types, I have created one document here that I'm going to send you. At one places, all data type will be referred. Okay, with all details. Like first of all, you can see all numeric data types: big int, small int, tiny int, bit. Then decimal data type: decimal, numeric, money, small money, float, real. Then date time related data types: date time, small date time, date time two, date time offset. Okay. So all the list of data types, whatever possible in SQL Server, those are listed here with their respective parameter also, respective attributes. Their size, minimum value, max value that can be stored in data type, the storage size over here, the type, exact type, or these are notes also provided. Okay. If you are clear with your basic of SQL Server, then we can start on this chapter. Please let me know if you are ready with this, or if you need some time for your homework or something up to whatever things we have completed till now. Because if you don't complete your homework, if you don't practice whatever things are basically required, then you will not be able to write a very complex code. Any question from you? Okay, so we start from numeric data type. Okay, we'll send you this document to you also so that you can start study. Okay, so this chapter is related to data type of SQL Server. So first of all, we'll see what is data type, why we need data type over there. Okay, so whenever you're creating any table, the column name, you write a data type here. You can see I'm creating table like create table holiday list. Okay, my first column is ID, holiday, date, holiday, name of holiday. Okay, like this. And then varchar, date, integer, all these are the data type of that particular column. So why we need data type basically? Because we should know what type of column, what type of a data is going to be inserted in a particular column. So if I write, suppose there is a date data type for holiday date. If I write something ABCD something, it will not be accepted. That will be given error. Okay, I can show you. See, I have created a holiday list table here. Suppose I try to insert some vague data that is not relevant. Then what will happen? You can see values. Okay, you can see these are the three different columns. And value inside value. What is the values over there? Suppose I'm writing add ID as a okay PQ some R something. Okay, okay. Holiday date. If I write something else, okay. Holiday name something I write 1 2 3 4 5. Then this will not be possible because it will give error. You can see easily it will give error because all these values are not matching to particular data type. That's why it's very important. If you don't specify the data type, then there's no meaning. Okay, any value can be updated over there. That's irrelevant. That is first something criteria. That can be a rule. We can say that is some constant. We can say that is specified at data type so that any value cannot be accepted. The only relevant values will be accepted as a or with a particular data type in the particular record. If I specify particular record with good values or a correct values like 1 2 3 will be ID. Okay, name of holiday will be like Diwali something, and sorry, date of will be like 2023 01 or 11 something, and it will be like Diwali or something. Call it. This will be accepted because now the 1 2 3 is a correct integer number. This is a correct your date value. This is the correct varchar value. Okay, that's why data type is required, because data type is an attribute associated with a piece of data that tells a computer system how to interpret its value. Okay, means you are doing any operation like arithmetic operation, logical operation, then the data type suggests like what type of operation you are doing there. Okay, suppose I'm writing a, also apart from table or apart from column name, data type will be used for declaration of variable as well. Okay, you can say I'm declaring one variable of type integer with name I write like this, declare at that I integer is equal to 1 to 3. Okay, so if I do I plus I, then this will give you value 246. Okay, another value I declare here, declare j. Okay, varchar 50 and abcd. Again I'm doing same operation here, j plus j, but this time it will give you value abc. Okay, because since the values are varchar type, so according to data type, the operation, same operator plus operator is giving you different operations here. Here it is doing the summation, here it's doing a concatenation. That's why it's saying the data type is a attribute associated with the piece of data that tells computer system how to interpret a value for different operations. Okay, why we need data type? There is only one main reason to gather clean and consistent data in a column of a table or variable. Clean or clean and consistent. Okay, data we need in a column. That's why we use data type here. Now under holiday date, all values will be date values. Under ID, all values will be numeric value. Holiday, name of holiday will be, all values will be string values, because I have given the data type like that. That's why we can call them clean and consistent. Any question? Again, if you don't specify any data type, then it will give you error. You can see here, declare at rate a at equal to 1 to 3 without any data type. If I try to declare the variable, it will give you error. Okay, this is not valid in a SQL, but this is also valid in a Python. If you know Python language, this is a valid syntax over there. Over there, parameter declaration or any variable declaration is not required for that type. That will be automatically decided on the base of the value in that Python language, but not is possible in a SQL. So in SQL, you have to always specify the data type after the variable or after the column name. Okay, these are the basic data type of data types: whole number data types, decimal data types, date and time related data types, character and string data types, binary data types, other special data types. Out of that, we are going to study first one is a whole number data type today. Okay, these are the whole number data types: big int, small int, tiny int, and bit. Out of that, bit is smallest one that can store only 0 and 1 value. You cannot store any 2, 3, 4, 5 value in a bit. Tiny int bigger than that, that can store 0 to 255 values, 256, 500. Those are not possible in a tiny int. Small int can store minus 32,000 to plus 32,767 value. Okay, all these numbers. Any value after that, 64,000 or something, that cannot be received in the small int. Small int has a storage of up to 2 byte. So you should know what is the basic of bytes over here. What is a bit? What is a byte? So bit is basically a basic fundamental storage of a in digital communication. Okay, bit means a combination of 0 or 1. One bit can have value 0 or 1, and one bit, how you store it actually in bit, that is a kind of a flip flop. You might have come across the digital electronics over there. That is a basic fundamental unit where we store in one bit in a format of a 0 or 1 value. 0 means on, and 0 means off, and 1 means on. So flip flop is a kind of digital electronics device that can store either two state, okay, on or off. So depending on that, we call them as a one bit. So if I gather 8 different bits, okay, then we call them one byte. One byte is equal to 8 bits. Then again, if you can store the value depending on that, 8 bits can be used by different combinations to store 0 to 255 values. Okay, how can we store that? I will show you. Suppose I'm using 8 bits, then all the combination will be like this. I can show you the combination of 1 bit and 1 byte actually. So 1 bit is equal to 0 or 1. 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. Okay, 8 bit can be a different 8 bits over here, like maybe all 0 or all 1 or any other combination also possible. So there are for 8 different values, there are 256 different combination are possible here from 000 to 111. Okay, if you see all combination of zeros and 1 for all the odd 8 places, we can have different 256 combinations. So starting from 0 to 255, this number can be stored in particular the 8 bytes, 8 bits. So we can logically see all 00 means 0, 000 and 1 means 1, 00010 means 2. Like this, it is an equivalent binary number and this is a decimal number. Okay, this is a 4, this is a 5, this is 6, this is a 7, like this. Okay, and this is also formulated like this. This is 7 and 3, 1, 1 are 7. Then how can formulate this? You can see 2 to power number of bits. Like you can see there are 3 bits used and plus minus 1 value here. So 2 raised to 3 will be, because 3 bits you guys used here for 111 places. 2 raised to 3, 8, 8 minus 1, 7. So 7 can be maximum number can be represented by using these 3 bits. So for 8 bits, which number we can store? 2 raised to 8, 2 to power 8 minus 1, that will be 256 minus 1 is equal to 255. Okay. Similarly, we can formulate this for a 2 bytes, 3 bytes, 8 bytes like this. Okay. This is for 1 byte 255. If I want to specify for 2 bytes, then it will be 64,000 something. Okay. You can see if it 2 byte, then these are the all 8 1, then again all 8 1, 16 ones will be there. So 2 raised to 16 minus 1 will be 65,535. But this time we are going to store negative number as well as a positive number here. So it will be divided into two different parts. So minus 30,768 to plus 30,767 here. One number is less here because it's a 0 will be included in the positive side. So total combination will be 65,535. Okay. So we'll give for a few examples for int, big int also we can do. But for now, I think we can stop here for today. And I will give you some homework that I will provide this document. But you have to write all data types of SQL Server and study how to convert binary to decimal data type conversion and solve few examples like this. Okay.
सर
Yes.
तसं ते आता ते बिट्स आहे ना ते ते फॉर्म्युला जरा सांगा या अजून कसं करतात ते.
बघा, पहिली गोष्ट म्हणजे बीट माहिती समजलं काय तुम्हाला? बीट म्हणजे काय? बीट इज अ वन फ्लिप फ्लॉप. तुम्ही एक समजा की असं डिव्हाइस आहे फ्लिप फ्लॉप नावाचं. त्यामध्ये एक ऑन किंवा ऑफ असू शकतं. पण तुम्ही लाईटचं बटन बघितलं आपलं, बरोबर? तुम्ही स्विच बघितलंय आपलं लाईट आपण ऑन ऑफ करतो. तर काय असतं, एक तर ऑन असतं किंवा ऑफ असतं ते बटन, बरोबर? ते बटन मध्ये असतं कधी नाही. तुम्ही वर ढकला ते ऑफ होऊन जाईल, खाली ओढलं तरी ऑन होऊन जाईल. ऑन किंवा ऑफ राहू शकतो. त्याला फ्लिप फ्लॉप म्हणतो आपण. त्या एक फ्लिप फ्लॉप डिव्हाइस आहे ज्यामध्ये ती डिव्हाइसची व्हॅल्यू स्टोअर होते. ते ते स्टोअर होते त्यामध्ये. ओके, ते डिजिटल इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स मधलं एक डिव्हाइस आहे छोटंसं सेमीकंडक्टर डिव्हाइस. त्याला फ्लिप फ्लॉप म्हणतो आपण. त्यामध्ये जे ऑन आणि ऑफ राहतं ते त्याला आपण बीट म्हणलेलं आहे. ओके, आपल्या कॉम्प्युटर लँग्वेजमध्ये. तर त्यामध्ये काय होऊ शकतं, ऑन आणि ऑफला आपण दोन नंबर दिलेत. ऑफला आपण 0 म्हणतो आणि ऑनला 1 म्हणतो आपण. ठीक आहे. मग असे 8 डिफरंट आपण जर फ्लिप फ्लॉप जुळवले एका ठिकाणी, त्याला आपण एक बाईट म्हणतो. ओके, तर एक 1 बाईट ऑफ व्हॅल्यू त्यामध्ये स्टोअर करू शकतो आपण. म्हणजे सपोज हे 8 ज्या संख्या आहेत, समजा की 8 डिफरंट फ्लिप फ्लॉप आहेत. त्यातली काही फ्लिप फ्लॉप आपण ऑन केली, काही ऑफ केली आपण. अशी कॉम्बिनेशन क्रिएट करू शकतो. किती कॉम्बिनेशन क्रिएट करू शकतो आपण? 256. मग त्या कॉम्बिनेशन नुसार आपण त्याला नावं देऊया. हे सगळे सगळे 0 असतील, सगळे ऑफ असतील आपण 0 म्हणूया. त्याला शेवटचं एकच फ्लिप फ्लॉप ऑन आहे, बाकी सगळे ऑफ आहे, त्याला काय म्हणतो आपण? त्याला 1 म्हणतो. अशा पद्धतीने तिला काय केलंय 1 2 3 4 बघा इथं 2 किंवा 3 येत नाही कुठे या साईडला लेफ्ट साईडला कारण का त्यात पॉसिबल नाहीये त्यात फक्त ऑन आणि ऑफ पॉसिबल आहे हे फ्लिप फ्लॉप आहे सगळे ऑन ऑफ वाले बटन आहे सगळे इकडे त्याचे ऍक्च्युअल डेसिमल मधले व्हॅल्यूज आहेत ठीक आहे आता फॉर्म्युला सांगतो फॉर्म्युला काय आहे की सपोज तुमच्याकडे 3 फ्लिप फ्लॉप आहेत त्यात काय असू शकतं ऑल 3 शून्य असू शकतात तर 3 वन असू शकतात बरोबर मग तर बघित तुम्ही तर झिरो असतील तर काय म्हणलं 3 सपोज पकडा हे बाकी सोडून द्या एका साईडला एवढंच घ्या तुम्ही ओके 3च घ्या तोपर्यंत फॉर्म्युला बनवण्यासाठी आपण ठीक आहे तर झिरो पासून बघा सुरू करा 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 म्हणजे ते 3 फ्लिप फ्लॉप असतील तुमच्याकडे ते मॅक्सिमम किती नंबर ठोकू शकतात 1 1 1 अशी 7 नंबर सेव्ह होऊ शकतात मतलब फॉर्म्युलेट काय केलं आपण त्याला टू टू पॉवर नंबर ऑफ बिट किती यूज केले तर आपण सध्या 3 यूज केले बरोबर प्रत्येक ठिकाणी 3 यूज केली तिकडली आपण सोडून द्या सगळे तर 3 मध्ये काय केलं आपण 2 3 -1 2 टू पॉवर 3 काय व्हॅल्यू आहे सांगा 2 टू पॉवर 3 म्हणजे काय 2 × 2 × 2 म्हणजे 2 टू पॉवर 3 झालं -1 करा 8 -1 8 -1 7 झालं दॅट्स अ फॉर्मेटेड 7 so if the same formula applies to all these values these are the 8 different flip flops 8 different bits are there so we can write formula for this 2 raised to 8 -1 so 2 raised to 8 काय येते सांगा 2 × 2 × 8 वेळा लिहा काय येतं 256 -1 करा 5 so this is a formula that can be used to identify what is the maximum value that can be stored over there okay आता इथं मी काय करतोय ओके इथं पण बघा 65,000 म्हणून सांगितलेलं आहे ओके तर हा फॉर्म्युला इथं का होत नाही मग 2 बीट म्हणलं मी 2 बाईट्स आहे हे सगळे 2 बाईट काय म्हणतो 16 बीट्स आहे बघा हे सगळे 16 आहेत ना 16 बीट म्हणजे 2 बाईट झाले मग इथं काय करतोय आपण सांगितलं की तुम्हाला की स्मॉल इंट हॅव डेटा स्टोरेज ऑफ 2 बाईट्स बट मॅक्सिमम व्हॅल्यू कॅन बी 30,767 अँड मिनिमम व्हॅल्यू विल बी -30,767 मग 65,000 काय येत नाहीये कारण इथं झिरो पण स्टार्ट होत नाही व्हॅल्यू इथं मायनस व्हॅल्यू पण सपोर्ट केली आपण टायनेट मध्ये झिरो स्टार्ट होतं पण सगळ्या 256 व्हॅल्यू पण यूज केल्या 0 to 255 मध्ये कॉम्बिनेशन यूज केले पण स्मॉल इंट मध्ये काय आहे मायनस व्हॅल्यू पण सपोर्ट करतो आपण मग नंबर कशा तुम्हाला माहिती आहे नंबर लाईन काय असतं सेंट्रल ठिकाणी झिरो असतो लेफ्ट साईडला सगळे मायनस व्हॅल्यू असतात राईट साईडला सगळ्या प्लस व्हॅल्यू असतात मग काय केलं आपण 65,000 कॉम्बिनेशन आहे ते डिवाइड केले दोन भागामध्ये काय दिले अर्धे दिले आपण मायनस साईडला अर्धे दिले प्लस साईडला म्हणजे याचा अर्थ काय झाला 32,767 इज द हायेस्ट पॉझिटिव्ह नंबर कॅन बी स्टोर्ड इन अ small int that is having storage of 2 bytes. This is a minus value is a minimum value. Any question? तो फॉर्म्युला कळाला समजला हा
हो सर
okay so do the study write down all data types I will provide you this document to you okay just write it down prepare your notes if you don't think anything that you are not able to find or something that you can search on Google also and prepare your note for this and prepare all the homework okay whatever homework I have given till the this time till the date please complete all everything because henceforth we are going to write a complex code that is based on simple all the commands okay so I think we can stop here for today we'll continue tomorrow with the this data type details and data type in detail examples okay okay thank you bye bye